wrestling.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Fired Podcast. I am Brian with my wife, Melanie.
Hello.
And this is the TNA pay-per-view, October 9th, 2002. First note I have here is that Don West has his heart attack at the beginning of the show. I usually don't cover this, but it was weird because it's almost always near the end.
Yeah, or at least halfway in the middle.
Yeah, we've had it in between, but I've never had it at the beginning.
Well, now we have.
I mean, cool for Don West. He plays hype man. He always gets himself red in the face when he's doing this hype shit. So that's the reason why I say, oh, heart attack, because it always looks like he's about to die.
It does.
All right. Though they start to try to introduce a match. I don't know which match it was supposed to be. It's not like last week where it was clearly the SATs versus the Elvises. And then it got interrupted by Truth. But in this particular case, Truth comes out and interrupting it. I have a series. His music doesn't even start until he's already in the ring, basically with the mic, which is just funny.
Because we didn't know it was him.
Yeah, he claims that BG James, Hall, and Six Pac are all in a conspiracy against him. They also claim the guy in white was their hitman, and also their mystery partner for tonight was that guy. He also says he also attributes a line for a popular quote that The Rock uses to Scott Hall, and that was weird.
That quote.
Don't sing it, just bring it, or whatever, like that.
Okay.
He doesn't have the just in there. He says what your friend Scott says. Don't sing it, bring it. Is what he said. But I've always known The Rock to say that sort of thing. As he's going on this tirade about the conspiracy and about him being jumped and all that stuff like that, Don West interrupts and points out that this is hypocritical of him to complain about because he does it, and he seems to think it's okay when he does and not when others, and they even show a video of him.
Which, of course, annoys him.
Yeah. He, Truth basically challenges the three guys he named, which is weird because we're once again having a heel versus a group of faces, like we had with Jarrett earlier. I don't know why they keep doing this. All right, BG James and Six Pac interrupt him, and they introduce that their mystery partner tonight is Curt Hennig. I also note that when they start, before Hennig comes out, they actually play the wrong music, and I'm like, oh my god, it's Jeff Jarrett. Because he played Jarrett's music.
That's the surprise guess.
It was momentary that they played Jeff's music momentarily, but they still played it. I noticed that. Oh, yeah, he basically said, they also set up basically, let's not wait for our match, because apparently this is a 6-man tag match with, James, Pac, and Mr. Perfect / Curt Hennig versus Truth. And his two teammates, he says basically, let's just get this done now. As they rush to the ring to fight Truth, Jarrett and Lawler jump them from behind. So after they get things settled, for whatever, and they decide to have this match now, for whatever reason, even though he was already out there, apparently Lawler decided to go to the back and get his girlfriend and bring her out.
Because that was important for the match.
I just thought that was stupid. I guess you could argue that let his emotions get the best of him or something. He just ran out there, but it just seems weird that it's so important that he keeps his eyes on her that he would just leave her back there.
Yeah.
I didn't say much about this match. And I'm going to actually try to cut back on the play-by-play altogether. Just because I think it's easier to get lost. It doesn't really portray much as far as like what's happening in the match without some sort of visual aid. And until I get to the point where I can add visual aids to this or something like that, splice in whatever. It's just there's no point.
The only thing I can say about this match is something you actually said, which was that Sean Austin looked like Lawler should not have been wrestling. He looks like he should have been a live action kids show bad guy.
Yeah, my main note from this match was I was spending most of this match laughing at Lawler's overacting. Which it is overacting, it's hilarious, and I love it. But he doesn't make for a serious wrestler. This is the problem. I say most of this match is just these guys hitting their most generic recognizable moves. There's really not much of anything else of note in this match. At one point, Six does go for the Bronco Buster, but he gets stopped by goddamn boot to the balls. Not like he gets kicked there, but like the guy just lifts his leg up and he happens to land balls first on the foot. You know what I mean?
Bad luck.
It's not. I mean, at least it's not the kick in the dick match. There's some close falls. Lawler does get a hip hop drop on Hennig, almost gets a fall there. Pac almost gets a win with his on Lawler. Or no, I don't know how he pins. Lawler actually pulls the ref and just clobbers the ref and knocks him out. While the ref is knocked out on the outside, though, the guy in the white shows up again to attack Ruth and all of them. And it's noted that on the back of his white hoodie that he's wearing, it says Mr. Wrestling 3. This is followed by Hennig hitting a perfect plex and getting the winning. Getting the win.
Getting the winning?
Getting the winning. Also, during the match, at some point, not Lawler. Today has been a frustrating day. No, I'm just going to get this off my chest. Today has been a frustrating day. Woke up super fucking early.
Not because of anything anybody had to do. Or even our
No, I just
song.
happened to wake up super fucking early. I wasn't able to get back to sleep. I had been hungry. We had to finish watching this so that we could record the thing so we can get it out on time. Because we're really behind right now.
I wasn't feeling well this week, and it's my fault. I'm so sorry, everybody.
But, and then we tried to order pizza because I've been wanting pizza real bad.
And
we waited around for 2 hours, almost 3, just to find out that the fucking place that we ordered from apparently isn't open today. Even though we were able to put an order in, which was weird. Then we had to call customer service to take care of that, and then order something else, and that showed up cold. Now we're here doing this, and I'm just not in a great mood. But to be fair, part of that's because of this show. So I mean, that's all turnabout's fair play, I suppose. But anyways, BG James and Jarrett during this match got into a fight, and they moved up the ramp and into the back. So after the match was over, we cut to the back, And so we see James just like out cold, and Jarrett's like a little further away from him, and we see a pipe just kind of like drop down these stairs. So I guess they're implying that James was completely knocked out cold with the pipe. But I just realized now saying this, because we watched the first half of this earlier this week and we watched the second half of this show later this week, that James is out later in the show just perfectly fine.
Yeah, he is.
So there's like no point to this segment outside of doesn't matter. There was no point to this.
None.
All right, Jerry Lynn comes out. He first addresses Sonny Siaki, says he'll settle whatever the hell's between the two of them after he retains his belt tonight. Siaki answers him. He's boasting about himself, building himself up. It's a self-hype thing. And he says basically, the reason people come to watch TNA is for Sonny Siaki and stuff like that. And he says basically, Lynn, why should we wait? How about you come here and settle things now? So Lynn decides, yeah, sure, I have a ladder match tonight, but sure, let's just do this. So he goes up, they brawl for a bit. Siaki eventually gets control, and he throws Lynn off the stage into the guard railing. And okay, my wife and I, we rewound this and watched it a few times just to make sure. The story here is supposed to be that when he was thrown off the stage and flew into the guard railing, that he went in with his leg getting caught in, and it tore something or broke something, caused an injury, basically. But if you actually watch the footage, you can clearly see that his legs are not actually in the railing when he lands. It's something he does off camera to set up the injury angle. The EMTs come, stretchered Lynn. So, it's just spoilers for later in the night. This makes it so Lynn vacates the title.
Which is so sad. I was so happy.
Yeah, he's my wife's favorite right now, I think.
Yeah, I like Noodles is my favorite.
So yeah, she doesn't like the fact that he's vacating the title. I don't know the actual reason why. I don't know if he's actually injured or what's going on. Like, at all. And I don't think I can figure that out. I don't know. I don't think there's enough information online for me to find out if it's just scripted for some reason or what.
Like if he had to go somewhere else, if he legal trouble, could have been anything.
Legal trouble, I may actually been able to find. He was actually just injured during the time. I don't think.
Or if it was a personal issue.
Maybe if I was subscribed to the Wrestling Observer or something and I could go back and read back then, but I'm not doing that.
Huge waste of
All right. We see a video from earlier in the day. Six-Pac approaches Goldie to pull her into the men's locker room for some reason. It's not like illicit. It's just like, hey, I want you to come record what I'm about to do.
Yeah, it wasn't creepy in a sexual way or anything like that.
And he basically goes and apologizes to Low-Ki and admits that he respects him. And Low-Ki was going to say something back, but we didn't get to hear it because AJ Styles interrupts. Tells Six-Pac, hey, Low-Ki shouldn't be your favorite guy here. I should be. And it also makes a point to say that he was better than Pac was 15 years ago when he first started. So, AJ Styles pumping up his whole I'm a confident asshole like he's got going right now. Cocky asshole. However you want to put it. Anything to say?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. Next match of the night. World Tag Team Championship. Spanish Announce Team versus America's Most Wanted. I know that they keep mentioning how the SCTs came to TNA on a bus, and I'm just like, I'm over that whole. I don't care. They're here now. Like, I know it's supposed to be. I know they're trying to sell it. That's how like dedicated they are to this, but it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't.
They're here now. Everything. Like their dedication can be shown in the ring. I know that at least one of the like. I don't know why. It seems like Joel was really slow in this match. I don't know if it's because he had another. This is like the second show they're recording or not. But Joel seemed slower. My wife I thought the Maximos were slower altogether. Spanish announce team, whatever you want to call them.
I thought Country Singer was slow on some of his moves, and to me, this match was like super sloppy all over the place.
I thought Joel was sloppy. He was slow and sloppy in this match for him. I don't think Storm was slow. I think it was more of a he seemed slow because the other guys are normally so much more speedy. I don't know. I didn't see anything in this match from Storm that I took issue with.
Maybe I'm just.
There's some fun spots at this. There's a spot where like Jose's in the corner. Jose goes up into the corner to do a moonsault or something, and Harris shoves him off the corner to the outside and onto his brother. I didn't know in this match for the most part Harris and Storm looked very dominant. It's not like the Maximos didn't get any offense, but definitely were pushing like the Storm and Harris are really coming together as a team and showing that they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. Even though they are the tag team champions, like they keep on building as to be like a legitimate tag team, a legitimate threat in the tag team division. It's not they're not a team that are just a flash in the pan. It's subtle storytelling week after week that you have to pay attention to realize what they're doing, but they're doing a good job at it. Another cool move they did in this is that Storm did some sort of running headlock maneuver, but the Maximo that he had lifted him up and sat him on the ropes and then lay him back, and the other one did a moonsault onto him. It was just something I've never seen before. Storm also did this one move in this match that I don't know how to describe. He had the guy like he was going to do Sheamus's white noise move, which my wife doesn't even know what that is.
I don't.
But then he like spins him around him and does a swinging side slam or something. I don't know. I've never seen it before. It looked weird. I don't know how else to describe it.
It was weird.
Yeah. There was a lot of near fall seasons in the match. This is actually a really long tag match.
It was.
Did a really good job of making the Spanish announce team look like they were legitimate contenders for the titles, not just like, oh, we just happen to be given a shot. Is there like let's compare it to like last week's match against Ron Harris and the Aussie. Storm and Chris Harris looked like they deserve. It looked like they won that match and looked like outside of Ron Harris being a big strong guy, for the most part, it looks like Storm and them had the match under control. I'm not gonna say they didn't always look like there wasn't any trouble, but in this one, it definitely looked more like a more competitive, more hard fought sort of match. Both teams really wanted it. There was a whole lot of like effort, raising the bar and stuff put into this match. So even with noting that the one guy, Joel looks slow and all that stuff like that, they still did a really good job telling the story of this match.
Yeah.
So I give him credit for that. The finish. Storm does save Harris from the Spanish Fly. And then they finish off the SATs with some weird double. I don't know how to describe this. It's a double team maneuver where they had him like cradled between the two of them. And then they flipped them backwards and made him do like a full backwards somersault before slamming him on the mat, and then they got the win. So America's Most Wanted retain. They're still undefeated. I actually would probably say, considering everything that happened this night, this is probably the best match.
Yeah.
Overall. And it was pretty good. All things, pretty good even with the criticisms I handed out. All right.
Again, he's mostly cranky because of the.
Yeah, I'm sorry. All right, Goldie's in the ring. She introduces Chris Rock for some reason. He's here tonight, and so is Hermie Sadler. I don't know why. Chris Rock is just... Okay, I know why Hermie Sadler here. I don't know why Chris Rock's here. He just comes out, says that TNA is the best wrestling in the world, and that wrestling isn't fake, and then leaves.
Yeah, he doesn't do anything else.
All I wrote down was this was pointless.
I didn't even write it down.
It's a celebrity for the sake of a celebrity. They didn't even do anything with him like they did with like Dustin Diamond. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was.
At least Dustin Diamond had a little thing where he did a stupid boxing match with a bell ringer.
Even though that was bad.
Yeah. All right. Match 3. 4-way dance. Okay, it's a 15-minute Iron Man 4-way dance. If that sounds confusing, it's because it is. Basically, 4 men all in the ring at the same time fighting each other with no teams or anything. Trying to get as many falls as possible within a 15-minute time limit. And the winner is whoever has the most falls. And the participants in this match were Kid Cash, Tony Mamaluke, Ace Steel, and Low-Key. Now, if we were to go by how things have been going in TNA up until this point, you would think obviously the winner is going to be Low-Key. But thankfully, they're going to try to expand the X division into more guys that have legitimate claims to claims to the title. Not claims to the title, but like claims to be in contention for the title. So this match in particular is another one of those instances where they're working on that. So, that said, Plumtree's in commentary. Again, it's a 4-way, so there's not a whole lot I can take notes of. It's 4 X Division guys doing a lot of X Division moves, which means a lot of dives, a lot of flips, a lot of cool kicks from Low-Key. So some things I noted, like there's a point where Kid Cash goes for a Hurricanrana on Ace Steel, but instead of flipping over or anything, they both kind of just fall over, and I don't know what to say. It was a situation where if Steel lands wrong on Cash's leg, one of the two of them could have walked away with a bad. So that just sucked. Another one was when Mamaluke goes to dive on the other 3 when they're outside, and he just goes right down the center, and seems like no one catches him.
Poor
So he
Marmaduke.
just lands on his shoulders and back.
Poor Marmaduke.
So anyways, the first falls, because it's a double pin, Mamaluke and Steel both get a single pin on Low-Key and Cash at the same time. After those two took each other out with a flying flying clothesline to each other.
It looked like they were trying to hug each other.
Yeah, it was a double down, but with a flying clothesline. It was pretty cool. Kid Cash then gets some sort of fall on Mamaluk at, I don't know, after using some move. I'm not sure what he did. I rewound it and I still wasn't sure. And then to tie it all up is one apiece. Loki gets a submission fall on a Steel after Steel like catches him in a fireman's carry, and then he like slides back and gets like an arm breaker submission and gets him to tap out. They're fighting. At some point, they're working over the idea that Loki did something and like pulled his ankle or rolled his ankle during the match, so that's injured. And it's, being targeted by Steel for the rest of the match. There's not another fall, though, up until the last... this is literally last second. Loki's attacking Steel, desperately trying to get a pin or a submission or something on him. He gets Steel to the ring apron. He flips him in. They fall. They fall back. It's like it's not quite a suplex, but similar. He falls, and then Steel rolls on top of Loki, even though he's the one that was just had the move done to him. And at that point, Plumtree jumps out of his chair, runs up, holds Loki's legs, and Steel, even though the buzzer for the end of the match had gone. Even though the buzzer for the end of the match had gone, they count the pin, and Steel wins with 2 falls. So, controversial finish. Buzzer went off. Plumtree interfered. But Ace Steel's called the winner. I also had said during this night, saw a lot of Ace Steel. Said during this night, because Ace Steel looks like his eyes are bugging out of his head.
I nicknamed him Bug Eyes.
So he looks like he's stoned out of his goddamn. But his tights are weird too, and I said even his tights look stoned. I guess there's weird patterns on them. I don't know what else to say. He's wearing these weird tights where it's like a pattern and then blue. The pattern's like green and black and some variations of in between, but in weird pattern. I don't know. It's weird.
It definitely looks like someone.
They're ugly. They're ugly pants. Ugly.
You would hear that from me more than him.
Not the ugliest we've seen tonight.
Oh no, no, not. It is in the top 3.
But after the Michaels, because that's where I was referring to.
That's where I was referring to.
All right, Hermes Sadler comes out with Don West, interviewing him. It's just more cross promotion for NASCAR because Sadler's driving the TNA car. Bruce interrupts him, points out how Sadler seems to not be certain if he's a race car driver or if he's a wrestler. Then Jarrett interrupts because I don't know why.
Why the hell not? It's his show. He can do whatever he wants.
Maybe his entire point was that he pisses him off that the TNA car doesn't have a better driver.
Yeah. Even named Sadler's brother.
Yeah. So anyways, Sadler gets on the mic, gets some comebacks in, and he was like, Jarrett, for someone who's complaining about me not being that good, I'm not seeing any gold on your waist. And then he taunts Bruce about
wanting to grow up either as a man or as a woman.
Yeah. Ignoring the modern day climate. This was 2002. So
yeah. So
let's just ignore the modern day politics around that. At the time, it was a lot less controversial. The gimmick was controversial for the different reasons, but
Sorry, technical difficulties with our cat.
But yeah, that pisses Bruce off. He runs in. Sadler actually is able to fight Bruce off. As pathetic as that is. Until Jarrett attacks him, and then Jarrett's beating up Sadler until BG James comes out. This is only like halfway through the show.
Yeah.
So, like, James was not even out for an hour from a lead pipe to the head, I'm guessing. Anyways, he runs Jarrett off, says some things, and that's all we see from them the rest of the night.
Oh yeah, we don't see them at all the rest of the night.
After this next match, it's all just X Division shit.
Huh. Okay, good.
All right. Match number 4. Sonny Siaki and Ron Harris versus Chris and Rick Michaels.
I've nicknamed these guys highlighter pants.
Their shorts look like Triple H's entrance, like Titantron from the 90s and early 2000s.
I'm pretty sure you could see these
bright fucking neon green.
You could see these pants from
and
space.
Weird crosses, like Celtic. I don't know if it's a Celtic cross, but weird like crosses and shit.
Yeah, no, honey. But you could.
I don't know what else to describe it. Their shorts their pants reminded me of Triple H's entrance video.
Again, you could see these pants in space.
God, they were so damn bright.
They really were.
If they weren't both wearing black boots, they would have just had inverted colors.
They did. It was funny.
Most of the match is just Ron and Siaki beating up these two with like little flurries from them.
Not even on Ron.
No, they get little flurries on Siaki, and Ron will just come in and take control. It's basically what happened in all this match.
Yeah.
Slowly, Siaki was getting worse because he's getting beat up more. During the match, we did get a Siaki sucks chant though.
I was happy.
So it's good to see the crowd. Honestly, if he hadn't done the thing with Lynn earlier tonight, by the end of this match, you would think Sonny Siaki was going to being a face. Is this a note? Anyways, the end of the match, Sonny Siaki hits his Samoan pop move and had the match won if Ron Harris had not stopped the ref from counting. And then commanded Siaki to pick up whatever Michael's brother it was. I wasn't paying that much attention. Goes to go for a big boot, but instead he accidentally gets Siaki. And then Ron just stands there as the guy gets the pin and the victory. Yeah. And then after he loses, Ron Harris is there blaming Siaki, and they actually start fighting each other. But, and I give them credit for this, because this does help build Siaki as a legitimate threat and a legitimate contender for like the X Division title and stuff down the road. Siaki's holding his own against Ron Harris. If not getting the better of Ron Harris for the most part.
Which I'm happy with. I'm not a big fan of Ron Harris.
But they brawl for a bit, and then security comes out to break him up, and Don Harris just comes in and shoves Siaki out of the ring and like just sends him away. And the commentary team are all trying to sell this as well. I guess this means that he's finally come around to his brother's side and shit. I don't know if that's the story they're telling, but that's what happened there.
That's what the commentary is trying to sell.
Okay. The NWA vice president is the next section. He's out there basically saying, we've considered all our options. Jerry Lynn's not able to compete, so we're going to have we're still going to have the ladder match tonight. And he says it's going to be Ace Steel, who won the match earlier in that four-way dance earlier tonight, going against AJ Styles for the X Division Championship.
And then Low Key comes out, all annoyed, limping.
Yeah, because they're still selling his leg.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure I added the limping.
Okay.
Saying, wait a minute. Why are you giving him a chance whenever he needed help from a freak?
Yeah, he calls Plumtree a computer.
I'm sorry, computer nerd.
Doesn't matter.
And says something along the lines of, yeah, I could have been with Plumtree, but I refused his $200,000 contract.
Sign-on bonus.
Yeah. And then Plumtree comes out and he's like, I never said that. Hide, hide, hide.
Also lays on a whole bunch of like intelligence. He's trying to sound intelligent sort of insults. Just calling him disgusting. I didn't write down anything Plumtree said, but he was giving him this he was getting this long series of descriptive, vast vocabulary, sort of like insult sort of thing.
The only one I remember the most is the fact that he called Loki a woman hitter.
He also said he also mentioned something about picking a fight with some woman named Tammy Sitch, and I don't know who that is. This sounds like either like something that was in the news at the time in the internet wrestling community, or a rumor, or something that happened that I'm not aware of. Doesn't really matter.
It really doesn't.
TNA has this weird habit of bringing in real world things that most of the audience will have no idea what it is.
Because they don't care. They're not.
No, because it's just because you won't know unless you're like an internet unless you're like an internet mark.
Yeah.
And I just I don't know what that was about. So finally Armstrong comes out and basically says, "You know what? I'm sick of this shit. You two are going to have a match to determine who's going to be fighting Styles in the tonight." So I haven't written this match number 5, Steel versus Low-Ki.
I didn't even write it down.
All that happens in this match is that Steel attacks Low-Ki's leg. He's dragging him around the ring. Eventually, they get caught up in the ropes, and the ref breaks it up and is distracted, scolding Ace Steel. But then Plumtree gets up, grabs a chair, and just runs and rams it straight into the hurt ankle of Low-Ki, leaving Low-Ki just laying on the outside, holding his ankle. And then the match was over at that point. At first they said Steel won via countout, but then it was immediately switched to it was Low-Ki winning by DQ. A whole bunch of chaos, everyone out there shouting around, yelling at each other. Finally, Armstrong's just like, you know what, screw it. Every X-Division guy, get out here. All of you are going to be in this ladder match. Whoever gets that title gets it.
And I'm confused because we know Siaki's here, but he's not out there.
Yes, yeah, Sonny Siaki, the X-Division guy, never shows up for this match. Weird.
It is, and I'm trying to think, is there anyone else in the X-Division that we saw tonight?
Okay.
Outside of Oodles and Noodles.
Okay. I don't know if the Michaels brothers would be considered X-Division.
I don't know either.
Possibly. They did mention one of the guys was a tag team partner with David Young, but at some point.
I didn't know Oi Shorts was X-Division.
He had an X-Division title match against AJ Styles. I think it was AJ's first defense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if we're going with the continuity of just what we've seen on this show, Sonny Siaki at this moment was the only guy that we knew was X-Division that wasn't out there.
Yeah. Because they had...
So, yeah. The competitors they had out there in this match were Joel and Jose Maximo, Tony Mamaluke, AJ Styles, Kid Cash, and Ace Steel.
Because Low-Ki was hurt.
The story here is basically everyone else besides AJ Styles has had a match tonight, so he's at a huge advantage. Outside of that, this match was almost pure chaos. There was a lot of X-Division stuff that you'd be used to, but this time with ladders.
Yeah.
Except it's X-Division stuff with ladders that is poorly planned. Because there are just so many moves in this, or I'm just looking and going and saying, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. How are they not getting hurt?
He said, oh my God, at least 10 times in the first 3 seconds.
They're just, because we got people falling off ladders in ways where their legs are going to land underneath the ladder that's falling with them.
Oh, yeah.
Got just weird moves like the one where Styles pushed the ladder over and sat down on the side of it. as the other guy on the other edge of it was being sat on.
I missed that.
I'm like, that's a good way for both of those guys to pull a groin muscle.
Yeah.
Because they had their legs completely like spread out. Because they're sitting on the they're sitting on the sides that aren't the ones with the steps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it's going from a standing position to a laying on the side. But I don't know. There was so much happening in this match; it was hard to keep track of. This was not a Money in the Bank ladder match. A lot of Money in the Bank ladder matches are well telegraphed with a lot of planned spots and stuff, and it's usually done pretty safely. You're not sitting there going, "Oh my, I can't believe these guys are risking things this frequently and stuff like that." Overall, this was a match that seemed like it was put together
last second.
Yeah, last second. For what it was fine. I guess. I'd rather not be watching this and going, I hope what they're currently selling isn't a real injury. Like Mama Luke's been selling his arm the whole goddamn night too. And he sells it really well. He's screaming his fucking lungs out.
I don't like his hairstyle.
Sorry. All right. The end of this match is also like one of my biggest pet peeves in wrestling.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen often, but I absolutely hate this sort of finish. AJ Styles is positioned to win. He's at the top of the ladder. The only reason why he has not pulled down the belt is because he's being cocky. But no one else currently out there is in any position to stop him.
Because they're all probably really hurt.
I don't know if they're really hurt.
No, I meant like they're selling their.
Oh, okay.
Or they could.
Six Pac emerges from the back. Pulls down Styles. Now, it'd be one thing if Pac was just like, hey, this guy was being an asshole. I'm not going to let him win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's not what happens. He pulls Styles down. Then he climbs the ladder, grabs the belt, and is now the new champion.
And he's not even in X Division.
I guess he is, because he won the belt.
I think he was still up.
I wouldn't mind this if he was out there and just hit or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, like, you were never in this match. Fucking Armstrong said, every X Division guy, get out here. You're all fighting for this. If you can just come in at last second and win, why did anyone come out?
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand that, maybe they didn't think you could. Like, normally you can't do that. But now they've established, apparently you just can. As long as you qualify for this match, you could have just run out there at the end.
Which makes
so, like, why didn't Siaki run out too?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I mean, I'm kind of glad that Siaki didn't win because he is my least favorite.
Well, I think they wanted to build towards Siaki versus. They wanted to do the build towards Siaki versus Lynn. And I think it works better with Lynn being the champion instead of Siaki. So, but this reminds me of that like one Money in the Bank match where there was a bunch of matches leading up to it that were all like qualifiers and stuff like that. They had every entrant announced. They go through and they have this like 20. This is WWE. They have this like 20 fucking minute Money in the Bank ladder match. Then Brock Lesnar just walks out and takes the goddamn briefcase. I mean, he gets it down from the ladder, but like he was never announced to be in the match. They didn't have someone come out at the beginning and be like, "Oh, I've changed this. You have one more entrant." No, he just comes out and grabs it.
Just randomly.
And it looks like special treatment bullshit. And I don't know. I don't like this idea that I can just come out and grab this fucking thing. There's no consequences for my bullshit. So that pisses me off so much. It's one of my biggest pet peeves. And with the best match of the night being that tag team title match, I'm giving this show a goddamn fired.
And no, this is not just about the pizza.
No, I was already unhappy before the pizza. What was your rating, sweetheart?
Oodles and Noodles got hurt. I'm gonna give it a
And
fired.
lost his belt because of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a fired.
All right, 2 fireds this week. I hope they can improve next week. At the end there, Don West was doing his shtick about whatever the hell was on next week, but I didn't pay any fucking attention.
Oh, he was too pissed.
Whatever. All right. Thank you for listening. We really appreciate it. The last week's show, for whatever reason, had like 21 views in the first 2 days, which is more than any other show so far. So I want to thank you guys if you were willing to sit there and watch this shit or listen to this shit. I appreciate it so goddamn much. Like, comment, and subscribe, please. I appreciate every little bit of support, every little bit of feedback, everything. I want to make this as entertaining as possible. I want to make this as fun as possible for the listeners. So please help me improve.
Help us improve. It is an us. See, all about him all the time.
Help us improve. I apologize.
As you should.
But until next time, guys. Thank you. Wrestling.
Have a good night.